Hello YouTubers. Did you like the way I sort of did that delicate dance there to get under the chair with my leg on one side of the leg and so forth? Joe Kersey here on August 19th, Saturday, 2017 at 14:45 in the afternoon Eastern Time. Or, well, getting on toward very early morning across the way, let's put it that way. I had one goal today, and I achieved it, which is always nice when you achieve a goal for the day. And that was to book a hotel for the first night, and maybe, given that there's only 138 miles between Edinburgh and Durham, and I've done that drive before, so I wanted to get about 35 miles out from Edinburgh, and then I thought, well, I might just hunker down for 3 nights, which is what I decided to do. It's near Melrose Abbey. There's some other things I could look at. But, as I've pointed out a couple of times, traveling now for me is not so much seeing things. It's just the act of being in a place and absorbing the place and just being there. And like the title of that great novel, and then the title of the movie, and I can't remember who wrote that book, but it's a great book, Being There. And the movie has Peter Sellers in it, who plays Chance. It's a very introspective, sort of soul-cleansing, spiritual. That's an overused word. It's a mind-cleaning time. Let's put it that way. Mind and spirit, heart and soul. In St. Paul's Anthropology. Read N.T. Wright on that. Even if you don't read N.T. Wright, it becomes implicit if you read enough of this Pauline literature. Just read the epistles. Okay, well, without that little digression into theology, which I dearly love, I found a place it's called Lauder, and I've got this, actually there were about three or four hotels in Lauder. The one that I came upon first and was actually in the process of booking into or making a reservation at, turns out it does not have breakfast included. So I'd have to go fetch my own meal if I wanted to eat something in the morning. This place, there's the outside of it, has breakfast. And that's so nice because you get one of these, they offer, you can either get the full sort of English breakfast, you can get, they offer various kinds of fish and things. It just seems really first rate. There's no bar on the premises. There's no pub there. So for that, you have to walk about 5 doors down, and there's 2 pubs about 5 doors down. So, I think you can kind of imagine what old Joe's going to be doing here in the late afternoon or early afternoon and, so forth. It's got free parking. There's a little parking area there. So basically that means you can get 2 or 3 cars in there, which is fine. It's better than, none at all. Hell, the Radisson Blu Hotel in Durham charges you £8 a night. That's alright. That's actually worth it at that place. They say, you got the last room, booking.com, is great. You got the last room. Okay, fine. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. So I booked this room, and then, you know, of course, then you get rereading all the website material, you know. And then I came across this little wonderful thing here on the last page. This property accepts the following forms of payment. And yeah, that's one of those things you generally just blow over because, you know, you think, well, everybody takes credit cards nowadays, particularly if they're on a website like booking.com or something like that. No credit cards accepted, cash only. This is about 215 pounds for 3 nights. That's okay. I actually have a lot of cash left over from my trip last year. So I don't know. They may not be, you know, thrilled about the 5-pound notes I have, but, you know, because I guess they've screwed around with those in the last year. But so that's that's good for me to notice, and, you know, I'll be okay. But I'm glad to know about that. That's so unusual nowadays. It used to be very common. The first 3 times I went over, that was extremely common. Well, actually, the first 4 times, when I went over with my son in '95, they took credit cards. But well, they didn't like my credit card. But anyway, they do, most places do now, so, all right. Anyway, it's cash only. And bars within pubs within walking distance, that's sort of like a major criteria for me. Criterion for me. Melrose Abbey is about 12 miles away, then I'll be able to potter around and find some other things to do too. So that was my goal for the day, and I achieved it. So I'm really quite pleased with myself on that. Not to sound too arrogant about it, because I was kind of getting a bit antsy about, Kersey, you got to get this book, you got to get this book, you got to get this book. And of course, maybe tomorrow, yeah, that line of crap that goes through your head. Anyway, done, sorted, so good. Meanwhile, going over to Liz and Henry's tonight. Let's see. Going over to Liz and Henry's tonight to have dinner at 6 o'clock. And that'll be fun. A fellow that Henry works with that I'd met before, his name's George. He's a first-rate fellow. I'll be interested to hear what he has to say tonight. Well, of course, it's Henry. Henry's always full of good electioneering war stories and so forth. So that's always fun. I can't show any of them to you, but it's always fun to hear. And then I spent well, I got two sets of advice from. Oh, stop it. My friend in Seattle, who basically is very much involved in computery stuff. And then my friend in England, the two Tonys, who also has far more experience with this computer stuff than I do. Now I've had this thing 5 years now. Well, not this particular thing, but been doing this, 5 years now. And I agree with them. It's foolish to put your actual email up on the internet and all that. But that horse is out of the barn on so many of these websites that you sign up for. I'm not talking about the nefarious ones either. Like let's go. Get a whatever. I'm not talking about that. But others, and I'm not talking about the financial stuff. I keep that very separate and segregated from all this other stuff. But Tony in Seattle suggested, set up, and I've heard this before, well, just set up a fake Gmail account. Just set up a fake Gmail account. And I think, well, that's okay, but Google will still send crap to all that YouTube crap to my fake Gmail account. And then I got thinking, well, no, not if I don't even give them the name of it. So, I now have an email account that people can private message me on that is separate from anything else I've got. And I have a smart mailbox set up for it such that we'll go into it and then I can see and deal with it that way. So I might have solved the problem that nearly prevented me from meeting my friend from afar. And I'm sure glad that he decided to keep persisting. But I've said that before. I'll try to stop flogging that horse here over time. Healing well. Skin's peeling. Itching actually a fair amount, but I've not succumbed. There are a couple of chunks of pigment still to come off. You can see them on the surface. So things are progressing apace. So that's my first stop after I get out of the airport there in Edinburgh. So I'll say bye-bye, YouTubers.